Hey guys, Danica Ferrante here from beautyscraps.com. Today I have alternate card idea number 5 to share with you for the August 2016 Bold Botanicals Paper Pumpkin Kit. I've been having so much fun with this kit. I can't believe how many different ideas I have. I think I'm kind of running out of the materials from the kit. This isn't going to last forever, but I think I have enough to do one more alternate idea after this one. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. And then I'm going to have a grand finale, smash that pumpkin, kill a kit kind of video where I show you everything I made all together and what materials I still have left from the kit. I think that's going to be really fun. And I just might be planning a giveaway for that one too. So definitely stay tuned. I always forget to mention in the description box down below, there's links to all of my social media, everything, if you want to follow me. If you are a Paper Pumpkin subscriber or you're curious about it, I definitely recommend following me on Pinterest. I create a board for each Paper Pumpkin kit every month. So if you make sure to follow all of my boards, then when a new one pops up each month for Paper Pumpkin, you'll be able to see it. If you just select one or two boards, you're going to miss the new ones every month. But let's get started on what this card is today. So here's a sneak peek at the one we're making. This one might be my favorite so far. Not sure. I've really loved all of them. But I tried a couple things for this. So let me show you that first, or let me show you what we're going to use first. So the only things I had to pull in for my stash were a very vanilla card base. So this is a standard 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 card. And then a little bit of early espresso. So this one measures, let me measure it real quick, 4 inches by 2 3/4 inches. And then everything else I'm going to use today was from the kit. So we're going to use this little strip of the Cajun Craze that came in the kit, and this little banner that came in the kit, and then this little craft piece that came in the kit. So I started, let's get these things out of the way. I started throwing things on the floor. I started stamping the card base. So this is the first one I did, and I just stamped this stamp that came in the kit in each corner. But when I started layering up my pieces, the little gaps in the middle kind of bothered me. So we're going to stamp it a little bit differently so we don't get those gaps. So let's get started with the stamping. I did use my Better Than Email stamp set to already stamp the back of my card. And then we're going to use the early espresso ink that came in the kit. Now, this is where the Paper Pumpkin grid paper really comes in handy. If you line up, I'm going to try to push this so you can see my measurements on the bottom. Yeah, I think you can see that. So I'm following the measurements on the bottom to make sure that this is stamped centered. So I'm going to end up with a little bit of a border around the edges. It is a little easier to ink up these stamps if you have the full-size ink pads, but I wanted to show you, you can really just use what comes in the kit and it works just fine. So see how that you have a nice like blank border around the edges. That's pretty much even. It's even enough. But then you don't get that gap in the center. So I'm gonna do that on the other side. There we go. And then I'm going to take this strip of Cajun Craze that came in the kit and just use my snail adhesive to line that up in the center. Good. I'm just going to use my scissors to trim off the edges. You could have always cut that down to size first, whatever you think is easiest. And those are the kind of scraps I like. A piece that small I can throw away. Much bigger than that, I have to figure out some way to use it. So we're going to put this aside for the moment and bring in our other pieces to stamp. So I wanted to use the thanks sentiment that came in the kit. I'm just going to stamp that right in the middle of that banner. I always think it's so funny the way different inks look on different papers. Like, look how light that ink looks on the very vanilla like texture of paper that came in the kit versus the very vanilla cardstock. Isn't that crazy? Same ink. And this is the next piece we're going to stamp on, and we're going to use this image. I think this one might be my favorite from the stamp set, but I really just adored this stamp set. So to line this one up, I'm using this grid paper again. It's funny how I like hate to measure, but I love using the grid paper. It is measuring, but it just makes it so much easier working on the grid paper. So this little piece measures 3.5 inches. So there's two ways you could do this. You could line it up on your grid paper and stamp it, leaving space for the sentiment. A little cheater way that I did was I lined the banner up on the grid paper first. So now that banner is nice and centered. And then I just took a pencil and made a little mark on the top and bottom. And then I made sure that makes sure when you stamp it, you've got a nice, enough room for the banner, and it's going to be centered on your paper. Got a little piece of washi sticking to me. Oh, I'm glad you guys can't see the rest of my craft desk. I have so many projects out right now. So I'm just going to try to line this stamp up with that pencil mark without sticking my head in there. Looks like I did all right. And flip it over and do the other side. And then we can just erase those little pencil marks. Now, it was out of laziness that my color scheme was born. I still had my Mint Macaron and Calypso Coral markers out on my desk. So I wanted to see how they would show up on the craft paper. And I think because the craft paper makes them a little bit darker, the Calypso Coral marker does work out okay with the Cajun Craze colors that we have going on in here. The craft paper is just enough to kind of dull those colors down. So I'm going to do my relaxing coloring, my color therapy. And this time I'm just going to go for it and use the brush tip on the whole thing. I'll just try to be careful because some of those leaves are really tiny. So I mentioned before in one of my other paper pumpkin videos, I do have a couple extra kits on hand if you are kicking yourself for not getting in on this month's kit. So just contact me. There's a link in the description box below if you are interested in getting one, but I urge you to subscribe to the kit so you don't miss out on whatever fun is coming in the next box. You have until the 10th to sign up to make sure you get in on next month's box. And there's an awesome promotion going on right now where if you click the link in the description box below to sign up for Paper Pumpkin and you enter the promo code BOGO, you'll pay the full price, which is $19.95 for your first kit, and then your second kit will be free. I think this is the first BOGO. It's the first one I remember. So you don't want to miss out on that deal. And there's no time commitment. You can cancel whenever you want. You can just get those 2 kits and you'll get 2 kits for $20 and you can cancel right after that. All right, so that's the coloring. Now let's get everything together here. So I'm gonna put some snail adhesive on the back of this one. And layer it on the early espresso. And go with some more snail adhesive. And get that down on the card base. Oh, I just love this stamp set. That floral makes such a nice frame on the card. All right, and then we're gonna take the thanks banner that we stamped and add some Stampin' Dimensionals. So we did get some of those in the kit this month, but I'm just using this sheet that I had going in my stash. But I love that the Paper Pumpkin kit includes the adhesive, or some of the adhesive you need. It'll usually have the glue dots and the Stampin' Dimensionals. Always need more of those. So, oops, not yet. Center that up. The Stampin' Dimensionals have really strong adhesive, so gotta make sure you know you're putting them where you want them before you stick them down. So there we go. That's the finished card. I debated about adding some more embellishment to it. I do still have these wood veneers, but I don't know. I didn't feel like it needed anything else. I really liked it as it is, but you could add a little wood veneer on there. I also was toying around with putting some of this ribbon on it somewhere because I really haven't used this ribbon yet and I love it. But I really liked it just the way it was, so I left it plain. That's all for the card today. Pretty easy, right? And I love the design. I hope you guys like it too. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up or leave me a comment if you enjoyed this video, if you liked making the card with me today. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing with your paper pumpkin kits. And if you aren't already subscribed to Paper Pumpkin, definitely check it out. It's so much fun. And make sure you subscribe to my channel to see more alternate ideas coming your way. I'm very excited to share my next one with you guys. I will see you then. Bye.